Hello, you gorgeous creature, and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Hey there.
Okay, darlings, get ready, because we have some absolutely fabulous news today. Washington, D.C. is hosting WorldPride in 2025, like the epicenter of all things glittery and gay.
It's huge. And it lines up exactly with another major milestone.
Exactly. It's also the the golden jubilee of DC Pride. Can you even handle it? The sheer, explosion of rainbow joy.
Right. The convergence of World Pride and the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
It's a really significant moment. Highlights the city's role globally, but also, the local community strength.
Totally. And as if that wasn't enough excitement, the DC Alcoholic Beverage and Cannabis Board, bless them, just gave us the most amazing gift.
Okay.
They're extending alcohol service.
Right.
Until 4 a.m., shimmering, fabulous 4 a.m. during the peak of World Pride.
Wow. Okay. Until 4.
Yes. More time to clink those glasses, honey. Celebrate.
That's a pretty major logistical decision for an event this size, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, it directly impacts, everything for hospitality business.
Oh, absolutely.
And, the whole experience for people wanting to hit the nightlife.
Okay, let's get into the details, because it's not just like an extra half hour.
Right.
We're talking Friday, May 30th, all the way through to the wee hours of Monday, June 9th. The party keeps going until 4 a.m.
Nearly 10 days then, basically.
Pretty much. Now, okay, there's a tiny pause, like a little breather. No alcohol sales between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. each day. Gotta hydrate, touch up the glitter,
Sensible. A brief window. Acknowledges responsible service, I suppose.
But compare that to the usual. 2 a.m. on weekdays, maybe 3 a.m. weekends if you're lucky. This is a full-on encore. A major glow-up.
Yeah, that's a significant extension. It definitely reflects the level of activity they're expecting, keeping things going consistently.
And think of the venues. All our gorgeous spots. DuPont Circle, Logan Circle, the legendary places, the chic new haunts.
So how do they get in on this? Is it automatic?
Almost. They just need to apply, fill out a form, and pay a tiny little fee, just $100.
Okay, $100.
By May 27th. I mean, $100 for potentially nights and nights of extra business. Seems like a steal, right?
Yeah, that registration, it makes sense. Ensures everyone is officially on board, prepped for the longer hours, following the rules. The fee probably just covers, the admin side.
So what are we really digging into today? Well, buckle up. We're going to sashay through the potential economic boost for DC.
Right, the money aspect.
What this means for all the fabulous visitors flocking here, any potential, concerns or worries.
Safety measures, yeah.
Crucial.
And, of course, a little stroll down memory lane, the fabulous history of Pride right here in the capital.
Those are definitely the key angles, the economics, the visitor experience, public safety, which is huge. And, yeah, the whole historical context. They're all linked. You need to look at all of them to really get it.
Okay, let's talk cash, honey. The Benjamins, they're expecting, 2 to 3 million people?
That's the projection, yeah, a massive number.
Yeah.
So keeping the bars open longer, it's like finding that pot of gold at the rainbow's end. All those extra Cosmos, late-night snacks.
It could be a real boon for the hospitality sector, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially bars, restaurants, clubs.
Totally. Like a second parade, but for the cash registers. Especially in those iconic queer neighborhoods, DuPont, Logan, places like the Fireplace, JR's, number 9.
Extended hours can certainly mean more revenue, maybe even some temporary jobs.
More hours equals more sparkle, financially speaking. We can all toast to that. But what about, the other side? The city's costs.
And that's the question, isn't it? You need to weigh the projected increase in, say, sales tax revenue against potentially higher costs for city services. More police presence, sanitation, things like that.
Good one.
And does it mainly benefit nightlife spots? What about other small businesses? Maybe less direct impact there.
True. But for our gorgeous international visitors, darling, this feels like the ultimate VIP welcome.
WorldPride definitely draws a global crowd.
And the event itself sounds epic. A 2-day music fest at RFK Stadium House, pop, techno, the parade, street takeovers. It's going to be intense. So these extra hours mean you can just keep dancing, keep celebrating, soak it all in without that dreaded last call. Buzzkill.
It enhances that feeling of a nonstop celebration, yeah.
Less pressure to rush.
It's that warm embrace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes DC look like the welcoming star it is.
Yeah.
But what else makes for a great visitor experience, beyond just the bars being open late?
Oh, lots of things. Good public transport, running later, ideally. Clear signs, maybe multilingual.
Yeah, good call.
Info hubs are useful. And having stuff to do during the day, too. Cultural things, LGBTQ plus history tours, maybe even some family-friendly options. Not everyone's just there for the nightlife.
Right. Keep it diverse. But okay, let's keep it real, too. Fierce, but responsible. Mm-hmm. With all this exuberance comes responsibility, right? Some folks might worry, maybe about noise near residential areas, or just, public safety with millions of extra people. Those are always valid points with any huge event, especially one focused on nightlife. Balancing the celebration with residents' peace and quiet and actual safety. That's the trick.
But here's the DC has done this before. Extended hours aren't totally new. They did it for, wasn't it the World Cup in 2022?
Yeah, they have experience with major events and adjusting hours. The Olympics bid mentioned it too, though that didn't happen, obviously.
Right. And Sala Saperi, the director of Nightlife and Culture, he actually made a really interesting point. He said keeping bars open longer can sometimes help safety.
How so?
Because it prevents that massive rush onto the streets all at once when everything closes, keeps people in supervised places longer. It sounds counterintuitive, but it kind of makes sense.
That's an interesting perspective. Staggering the departures. It avoids that sudden crush. So what kind of safety measures usually go with these plans?
Good question.
Typically, you see more police. Definitely. Yeah. Increased security at the bars themselves, clear plans for crowd control, maybe designated late-night transport options, and lots of communication city organizers, bar owners, all talking.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, there's also been some chatter, a bit of a political shadow, maybe? Some reports mention potential safety worries for WorldPride, especially for trans folks and international visitors.
Right, given the broader climate sometimes.
But the organizers sound like they're really on it. Fenced festival zones, designated safe havens, advocacy workshops, being proactive.
That's crucial. Proactive safety planning.
And maybe these extended hours fit into that, too, keeping nightlife more centralized, more contained, potentially more secure. How can community groups help with safety?
Oh, community groups are vital. They can run volunteer safety patrols, set up safe spaces or info points during the events, get safety info out through their own networks. And they can be a bridge, letting attendees report concerns easily.
That collaboration sounds key. Now, we haven't heard from every single bar owner yet about this specifically for WorldPride.
Understandable, it's still a ways off.
But the general vibe from past events, like that World Cup example, seems positive. Jacqueline Jimenez from Penn Quarter Sports Tavern said those late nights back then were a lot of fun and brought in tons of customers.
Yeah, businesses generally like the extra revenue potential.
And WorldPride, way bigger, more international crowd. I can just picture the happy dances behind the bars. But are there downsides for the bar owners? Logistical headaches?
Oh, sure. Staffing longer hours can be tough. Managing more inventory. Beefing up their own security, and just making sure they're following all the specific rules for the extended permit noise levels, trash, that kind of thing.
Right, it's not just stay open longer, there's work involved.
Definitely.
But the city officials, they seem really invested in making this a huge success. To Chari's comments about safety and community during past events, it suggests they see these hours as part of creating a really world-class, memorable WorldPride.
The official support is clear. It looks like a coordinated effort to maximize the positives.
And for us, the fabulous attendees, imagine catching a super late drag show, maybe a drag race queen, losing yourself on the dance floor without clock watching for last call.
That extended time definitely adds value to the attendee experience. It creates that vibrant, welcoming atmosphere people want.
Totally. That guy, Ruben Santel, was quoted talking about the electric vibe during other late-night events, predicting something really patriotic and festive. You can just feel the buzz already, can't you?
The anticipation is definitely there. People value that freedom to celebrate longer.
Of course, keeping it 100, some local owners have previously raised general safety concerns for WorldPride, just given everything going on.
Understandable caution.
Really stressing the need for the city to be super vigilant with security. So even if these extended hours help contain things a bit, it's still a glittery reminder. Safety planning has to be absolutely meticulous.
Absolutely paramount.
Yeah.
What are the most critical bits of that security planning, you think? I'd say visible police presence is key, especially around venues and busy nightlife streets. Plainclothes officers too, maybe. Clear emergency plans, well-trained security at the venues, and probably coordination with federal agencies, given it's DC and an international event.
Yeah, all sounds essential. Now let's just pause and bask in our history for a sec, okay? Yeah. DC has been such a trailblazer.
Absolutely. A long history of activism.
That first Pride event, way back in '72, just called Gay Pride Day then, look how far we've sashayed.
From a small gathering to one of the biggest prides in the U.S.
And so diverse. DC Black Pride, Capital Trans Pride, DC Latinx Pride. It shows the city's real commitment, doesn't it?
It reflects the multifaceted nature of the community here.
So this 50th anniversary in 2025, it's monumental. It really cements DC as this global queer mecca. What were some of those key moments that got us here?
Oh, wow. So many. Early groups like the Mattachine Society picketing right at the White House back in 65. Lambda Rising bookstore opening that was huge. More than just a store, it was a community hub. All the big national marches on Washington for LGBTQ plus rights that started or ended here, and just the ongoing legal fights for equality in the city itself.
It really is overflowing with history. And DC is home to, like, 36 national and international LGBTQ plus organizations, a real powerhouse.
A major center for advocacy, yeah.
So extending bar hours for WorldPride, it just feels like a natural celebration of that whole legacy, making sure the hospitality matches the sheer scale and importance of the event.
It could be seen that way, yeah. A tangible sign of welcome.
It's loud, proud, fabulous. Saying DC is here to celebrate and adore its queer community and all our visitors. How does it reflect that broader commitment, you think?
Well, it's a practical step, right? It shows the city's willing to adapt to accommodate this huge international event and the people coming for it. It leverages the cultural moment, but also, the economic side. It sends a signal about being inclusive.
So looking ahead to 2025, these extended hours seem set to make an already amazing event just legendary.
It contributes significantly to that potential.
It really feels like a win-win-win. Local businesses get a boost, visitors get to party longer, and DC shines as this welcoming global city.
And the city's past experience with this, the safety planning, it suggests they're prepared to manage it effectively, despite any challenges.
Right. The foundation seems solid.
The mix of potential economic upside, a better visitor experience, and reinforcing DC's image, it highlights why this decision is pretty important for WorldPride 2025.
So, whether you're a local legend or flying in from who knows where, get ready. Paint the town rainbow. Check out the WorldPride Street Festival, get those Music Fest tickets.
Plan ahead.
And prepare to raise a glass, maybe several, to love, equality, and all the fabulousness. Cheers. Here's to a pride that shimmers right until sunrise.
So just to wrap it up, those extended drinking hours for WorldPride in DC, they're a really key piece of the whole celebration puzzle, expected to boost the economy and definitely enhance the experience for everyone attending.
And for you, our amazing listener, we really hope this deep dive gave you some fabulous insight into just the sheer scale of planning for something like this,
Yeah.
and how these decisions ripple out, affecting visitors in the host city.
Yeah, and it makes you think, doesn't it? What does it mean more broadly when cities really lean in and support huge LGBTQ plus events like this? Economically, sure, but also culturally.
Yeah.
Socially.
Right.
What message is DC sending with these extended hours about its commitment to its own queer community and its place on the world stage? Something to ponder. We definitely encourage you to check out the WorldPride event lineup as it develops and maybe dig into some of that rich DC LGBTQ plus history